Hello everyone, Krydex here, and welcome back. We're still working on rails in our pyanodon's Season 3, but we should probably queue up some tech. One thing I know we're going to use is coal crushing, so let's queue up that. Blueprint shotgun upgrade 2, why not? It'll vacuum faster, shoot out more items at once. Let's research water fill. Let's get towards mining productivity, actually. That seems like a great thing to queue up, and we'll stop there. Another 20% mining productivity is super nice. We'll save drilling fluids and stuff, so yeah, we'll go with that. And most of this episode, or all of it probably, is going to be continuing to work on our rail network stuff. So we got this started in the last episode. I am probably going to have to pause the episode at some point and go Google like the cybernetic combinator stuff. I still haven't looked into that. But for now, let's work on just kind of the basic blueprinting functionality of this whole system. Because what we want is to be able to paste in these station blueprints on top of what is... so let me get this pasted. And this should be rotationally symmetric. I didn't screw it up. Anyway, yeah, so let's get this going. So what do we do first here? I think what I do is I copy... Actually, how do I want to do this? Because if I want a T-junction... like, do I want my junctions and straightaways to be different blueprints? I'm trying to remember how I even did it last time. What did I do last time? Don't remember. Like, what did I actually blueprint? Was it just this part? Was it the whole thing? Because I don't want the whole thing. Do I want a plus to a plus to be blueprinted? Like that? And then that snaps to the grid? Not exactly sure how I want to do this. Let's... Because if I do a plus to a plus, then that's going to be different if I want that one to be a T-junction or something. So it almost does feel like I need the junctions to be a separate set of things. And I'm not going to worry about corner junctions. Like, I'm going to, at minimum, do T-junctions. So I'll just have the plus and the T-junction. Then I guess... I'm just thinking what's more efficient. I could have just this. I could have one where it's a T and a T. Or... Well, no. Now that I think about it... Yeah, let's just have the... Let's have the junction itself do a global grid snap. That just works. And then we'll have the straight section that will snap properly as well. And then if I wanted to, I could do a straight section plus a straight section, and then I can have a straight intersection even, rather than using the full plus if I just wanted a really long straightaway. So yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. How do I do this? I don't know. I've forgotten how to do anything. So for my... Well, first let's make a book. The book gonna be called Krydex Pi 3 Trains. Icon. Train. Icon. Locomotive. Boom. All right, so first blueprint going in is just the old T, or the plus intersection. So this bad boy gets the nice shape. Cross should have a multiple of 4 rails. All the rails are matching. It's 1 rail past the signal, so that's symmetrical. And then we'll figure out grid snapping in a minute. So this is a 4-way junction. Okay. So now let's get the 3-way junction going, which is always a little bit tricky to figure out. The easiest way to do it is just very carefully. Because what we don't need is anything going straight here. So this whole section is gone. We don't need anything going over this way. This section is gone. So that disappears. This one is dead. This one is dead. This one is dead. Uh-oh. No, I screwed up. I deleted my left turn as well. I did want that left turn. I needed that part. But that one doesn't exist and this one doesn't exist. Right, I can turn left. You know what? No, I really screwed that up. Hold on. Okay, what do I actually need to delete? I need to delete these. That left turn needs to stay in. That straightaway needs to stay in. This left turn needs to stay in, but the straight away goes away. There we go. And then this one doesn't have a right turn. So this is all gone. Oh, this is weird. There's no left turn from this way. So this part all gets deleted. So there we go. I can go straight or left from there. I can go right from here or left from here. And then from here I can go right or straight. Those are all the directions. Okay. And then all the ones that are just blinking out in the middle of nowhere, I'll just remove. And of course we don't have a multiple of 3, which is bad. How did I end up with 17? Oh no. How many are in the regular one? 28? What? How did I remove 9 out of 28? $17 just feels wrong. That one's actually necessary. Or at least mildly necessary, I should say. It's not completely necessary. Yeah, I mean, the important part is, would I still be able to paste this over this? And the answer is yes, so it kind of doesn't matter. I'm just kind of weirded out that it's 17. I guess there's something about three-way junctions. I don't love this either, that this juts out. I hadn't really considered that until just now, but I'm gonna settle and say that it's fine. So then this guy goes in and is a, I'll go with that one. They're all the same. This one, this one, this one, that one. They're not different blueprints. And this is a three-way junction. Okay, and then we already handled the signals for these straightaways. Uh-oh. I don't love, excuse me, that this signal wasn't a little bit further forward. Like it's not on a straight piece. But at the same time, it really doesn't matter, does it? Alright, so this whole thing is our straightaway. And yeah, but see, we do want to clear out these bits and these bits. And we'll just trust the snap to grid part to do it all correct. So then this is our straightaway. Straight connector. Okay. Yeah. Now it's just a matter of snap to grid stuff. Am I missing? I feel. I mean, I guess our station situation. I'm gonna go look into cybernetic combinators for a minute. I don't know if I need both for all stations or how that works, so I'll be right back. Okay, I have done some research, and the research was very useful. So first thing I want to know is the cybernetic combinator is the one that's actually added by the mod. This is added by, I think, a different mod, kind of like the LTN combinator mod, where it's just like, it's just a useful thing that helps a lot with setting up CyberSyn, but technically it's not needed. You could just use a constant combinator. So the main thing that I want to set up here is, okay, sorry, I'm thinking like a lot of things at the same time. Firstly, leaving it on network A sounds great. Nothing wrong with that. Station is going to be the default. There are depots and there are refuelers. So there's a really cool feature where you can depot bypass. Yeah, there it is. Trains from this depot do not have to be parked at this depot to receive new orders. So basically, they will... God, it's so good. I love CyberSyn already. We'll see if that remains, but for now I'm loving it because it's like, oh, they just have to have no current active orders. So that way they won't always come back to the depot. They'll go straight to do another order. So it vastly increases train efficiency over LTN, where they're going back to depots all the time. And I think LTN might have that sort of feature now. I can't remember. But anyway, and they will still return to this depot if they are low on fuel and no refuelers are available. So you can basically use depots as refuelers if you don't have specific refuelers. But you can also have specific refuelers so that, you know, when trains get low on fuel, they'll go to those stations. So it's all really neat. Refueling stations don't have to be depots, but if you don't have refueling stations, they will go to depots. It's all super handy. But station is going to be the default that we want. And then that's going to be connected to the train stop. And circuit connection wise, I'm not really sure we need to do anything here. Circuit connection wise, I do think we just want send to train. I don't think CyberSend said anything about that. Let's see. Connect the input of the combinator to a circuit network. I don't think it matters. Anyway, okay, so that's there, and then this guy is set to be connected. Request threshold, by default, I'll just have it 1,000. So the request threshold, for those wondering, it kind of doubles as a provide and a request threshold. So the way it works in LTN is that it will only generate an order if we need 1,000 of whatever it is we need. And there's also a station providing that somewhere. And there's also a train that can carry that much, which I actually find that really interesting. That's the part that I don't know if I'm a fan of, or at least I don't understand how to, because what if you wanted a huge request threshold? Like, hey, don't ask for any until you need 10 trains worth. But then, like, it won't work at all because you don't have any trains that can carry that much. So that feels, I mean, some of it's just I'm used to LTN and I'm used to not things working that way. So basically your request threshold can't be more than 1 train's worth. But the problem is different items have different stack sizes and there's all sorts of weirdness with that. I think you can change the request threshold per item though. Let me look into that real quick actually. Okay, so if I'm understanding this correctly, a station control oh no. When managing multiple stations with shared inventories. When disabled, CyberSyn automatically adjusts station inventory to account for incoming trains. When enabled, this adjustment must be made manually by adding the output of this station control to the cargo signal. Okay. Sorry, I thought it would be more clear. I think with station control, what is it saying right here? If multiple on station combinators, there's a setting called stack thresholds. No, that's not it. Where is it? The request threshold signal sets the request threshold signal per station, whereas the station control combinator can set or override the threshold per cargo as well. Station control mode. When placed adjacent to the train stop, that's what we did here, of an already existing CyberSyn station, the combinator will provide a second set of inputs and outputs that can be used to more precisely control the station. The combinator input allows for request thresholds to be set per cargo. Any non-zero... Oh, so we don't hook these up to each other. Oh, do I not even need to hook this up? I don't think we need to hook those up. I don't think I have to hook that up. So, excuse me. So if I go station control on that, I think I can give it a specific signal. Any non-zero cargo signal given on the input circuit network will override the station's request thresholds for just that cargo. When this is used on a provider station, if the station has more cargo than the input threshold, it will force the creation of delivery for that cargo to the next available requester station. Wait, what? This affected... Oh, wait, hold on. So... Okay, so normally... Okay, yeah, sorry, my brain's breaking in 5 ways. There are no provide thresholds, period. Right? When you have a request threshold, let's say we're wanting 1,000... Sorry, let me actually make, like, a system here. And add a couple signals so things don't break. And then we need power. Ah! Okay. Infinity accumulator, super substation. And then we wanted to have a train, and then a wagon. We're gonna need a depot somewhere. Let's do this. Oh gosh, we've made a mess. I seem to have made a mess. Alright, so here's a depot. Let's get a train here. By the way, the depot name, it'll go to other depots of the same name. So I can have like a solid depot and a fluid depot is kind of my plan. Anyway, we're also gonna need fuel. So that goes into one of these. And we need fuel, which is gonna be something like coal. And then that guy go to a solid depot. Then we need cybernetic combinator depot. Okay. Did that actually... I'm not sure if we need to have it already set up before I go to the depot. We might. Yeah, now it seems like it's doing something. Okay, so that's at the depot. I need to somehow... be connected here. If I just didn't make this so messy, we might have been fine. In my haste, we made waste. Okay. So now we've got a couple stations, and then it can go to the depot. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. So then let's remove that guy, and now let's say merge these. And then this will be a loading station. This will be an unloading station. And let's say we have the request threshold of 100. And then this one we actually just hook up to there. And if I put in 150 rail signals, and then this one requests 150 rail signals, or let's say it requests 100. Or I guess it should request negative 100. Okay, I think that worked. Yay! It's working! Uh-oh. It's not working. Go figure your life out. Okay, so will it reset? Yes. Why is it coming here? Oh, because I'm a dummy. Whoops. Ignore me. I am le dum dum. That's the one that had negative 100. Okay, so inserters get stuck holding stuff, but that's fine. It goes straight to here, where the 100 gets unloaded. And there we go. Now, what's weird is there's no provide threshold. But if we override, so right now it's not going to do another delivery because there's only 50 or 46 left. So if I change the request threshold, then that will work. But here, if I have a different doodad, and I could just use a normal combinator here. If I send the signal of trains rail signal to only 30, it'll change the request threshold to 30. And then it'll come over here and it'll grab the 46 that we have. And then come over here and deliver it. Okay, that's making sense. That's making sense. So we can override the request threshold. But then what's really weird is if you override the threshold on a provider. So that, let me read that again. It says, when this is used on a provider station, if the station has more cargo than the input threshold. Okay. It will force the creation of a delivery for that cargo to the next available requester station. This effectively overrides the requester station's request threshold. This is useful for purging unwanted cargo from provider stations. So let's say we had a request threshold of 100 signals. Oops, not E. But I was like, yo, I want to be able, if I ever have more than 32 signals in this box, I want to get rid of them. I just typed in 32. Why does Nextlet show up? Oh, because it's 32 raw Nextlet. LOL. Anyway, signal 32. And then we link that to you. So now, as soon as I have 32 signals in here, it should get rid of them. Even though this has a request threshold of 100, the train's coming to grab 32. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I'm digging this. I am digging this. I don't know if you guys are. I'm excited. I know these episodes might be kind of boring. But we're learning together. We're figuring out CyberSyn, and we're getting stuff done. Okay, so I'm gonna delete all this. Uh-oh. Didn't like that. Okay, so back to what we were actually doing. As far as like the blueprint, I'm thinking station control will leave as something we do when we want to. And then we're gonna need power to all the, we're gonna need so many power poles. I think I want to make these first, and then we'll set up the power pole connections. Yeah. Yeah, so I think step 1 is getting these made. So the last thing is to get this one copied. And we're not merging the chests, but we are keeping constant combinator, cybernetic combinator. Okay, so that's good. And then we want to connect that, or just copy paste it like this. Okay, so then this thing, and it is a right turn soon after, so it could go here, here, or here. And those would all be valid positionings. So I'll put it up here. So now we just need to get the grid to all line up properly. So let's start with... Let's just have this as home base to start. So then first thing we want to do is get the 4-way junction lining up with itself. Well, no, I need the straight connector on top of it. Okay. So we'll do the straight connector first. So straight connector, global grid, absolute. The grid size is going to have to be some larger number that I don't know yet. I should probably measure. So the center, well, there is no center tile. So from the top right corner of this rail to the top right corner of the next one is exactly 227. Oh no. Wait, that doesn't sound right. That can't be right. Rails are 2 tiles each. Oh, well, it's only 226, because, like, the distance is 1, 2... Okay, sorry. 226. So 226 is the distance between them. Am I going to be bothered by that number being divisible by 2 but not 4? It's not divisible by 4. Is that a problem? Should I make it 1 tile bigger? Because the fact that it's not divisible by 4... means the halfway point of 113 or it just means there is a halfway point, right? Because if I go 113 distance from that, and this one I go 113 distance, no, I guess that works. It means there's not a middle tile, but this is kind of the middle of the build. But shouldn't this give me the same halfway point? Something's off here. Oh, no. Sorry. I'm measuring from the right side to the right side. So we're offset by 6 tiles here. I would need to be measuring from the actual center of the intersection. 113 to here should be the midpoint of, you know, this thing. It seems to be roughly. I don't know. I think we're fine. Anyway, so back to the straight tile thing. We're gonna take off the grid snap because I actually need to build one. And then from there we can figure out the grid snap, because like I said, we need to measure, well, we already said 226. So is 226 the spacing? Because there's also the spacing of the whole, you know, whatever that's called. So the actual size of one entire chunk of this is what? Does it start here? Stretches from here to here. It's 226. Gets me to that corner. A little bit uncertain if 226 is going to get me what I want. But let's start with that. It's probably going to be like 227 or 228 or something. And then grid position, we will obviously have to change, but let's start with this. I want this to be centered inside of its own build. I don't even know. 113, but it's already, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. We can just have it in the middle. All even or all odd. Okay, 112. Okay, so then I need to move this whole thing over to the left by a lot. Well, no, because I want the squares to line up. I need to move the whole absolute thing down and then to the right. So down -50 to the right 20. Wait, is y 20? I forget which one's x and y in this. I didn't seem to change anything. Y -30, x +50. Let's try that. Okay, we need to be more down. Like 50 tiles more down. Excuse me. -80. Somehow that doesn't seem different at all than what I just did. -120? Okay, that's a little closer. So maybe up another 20 tiles, and then to the right a few. 70, or maybe just 60. I feel like I'm doing this wrong. So we need to go to the right, another few tiles. Maybe the Y direction is going opposite from where I think it is. But yeah, another 10 tiles to the right seems about correct for the X. Okay, 2 tiles to the left. 68. Alright. So there's that part lined up. Now to go up, I would have thought it'd be a positive Y, but that doesn't seem to be actually how it's working. Yeah, that went down. Okay, so positive Y is going down. So if I want it to go up by 40, I need this to be 40 less negative. Goodness. I think I still did that wrong? What is going on? I'm just about 50 off now. What if I just put 0 for Y? What's that get me again? I And I really need this blueprint to not be giving me this kind of hassle. Okay, so we need to go down a little bit. So let's start with just adding 20 to Y, which should take me down. 20 more to Y, 40. Should take me down a bit more. All right, now we're getting there. Maybe another 10 or 15 or 16. Let's do 56. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. So that needs to go down, what is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 tiles, and we're done. So 68. And there we go. And then the next one lines up with the next one. Ah, that's why we need it to be perfectly centered. It's not perfectly centered. So we need the rotation to not screw me up either. So that means we need to mess with the X. Negative 102 maybe. And then this needs to go up or down. Maybe down. I don't know. That's really close, actually. It looks like it's moving over by 4 tiles. So we need the width to be, or this to be negative 98. No, that's worse. 106. Is that it? Now it's moving by 2. 108. Now it's moving by 4 again. 104. Final answer. No, it's still moving. Oh no, is this the divided by 4 issue that we're dealing with? Is this never gonna work right? Is it because the grid size is even? Do we need this to be odd? Oh no. Yeah, because it needs to be negative 105. But I'm doing something wrong. I know there's a way to make this work. Grid position and blueprint grid position coordinates need to be all even or all odd. How does this work again? Is it even better if it's divisible by 4? I don't know if that fixes anything. But there's no way... Hold on. Sorry, guys. I feel like I've done this before. But there's no way for us to ever have a single tile halfway in between the rails. Is there? So this is never gonna work? To be rotationally symmetric? Like, how do we get it to do this, basically? This is what we want it to do. Let's do this in a smaller scale. So this is 10 by 10. So that's just straight up working the way we want it to. So then what's the problem? Because that grid position is halfway in between. That's what's confusing. It says 0, but like... You know, if we look at what that actually means on a blueprint, that's halfway in between these two numbers. So maybe 102 is correct, or 106 is correct? No, because that doesn't look like it's halfway in between that. That's why I'm being confused. It feels like it's skipping over the middle. Here. I feel like I'm missing something. Because this one is working the way we want it to be working. So like right there, they wouldn't be lined up. Instead, I could change the grid position to 0. Or 2. Yeah, in this case, 2. And it's right in the middle. And that shouldn't change if I have a 4 spacing. This. Like it's still right in the middle. What is going on? The grid position is even, not odd in this case. And yet, what if I did one tile further? Does that screw it up? No, the grid position is still on a border between two tiles. Oh, sorry, I meant to do an extra on that end. So if it's 17, it goes on a tile. But if it's 16, it's on a border between tiles. Which means, for this straight connector, and it's 226 is the actual width, it should be on a border between tiles. Because this is an even number. This was only 2 wide. Yeah, I'm missing something. There should be a way to get the grid position exactly halfway in between those rails with an even number, right? Well, hold on, now I'm back to be confused. Well, here, maybe not. Because if that's 18, that might need to be -1 to be in the middle. Oh, that is requiring an odd number. Okay, so I'm not crazy, totally. I don't know if I'm grasping everything that's going on at the same time here, but I do think it has something to do with the fact that it's not divisible by 4. Goodness. Which means I might need to change this design ever so slightly by adding one rail section in the very middle right here. So I could take, oh gosh, don't judge me too much for this episode. How many, we're at 50 minutes already. So if I were to take this and I were to cut the entire thing down the middle, and I were to move it one more rail out, I think that does what we want it to do, and then I'll delete the bottom part because that's not spaced properly. Because now the actual size is 228, which is divisible by 4. And the, just curious, border to border size is 216. Ooh, 216. That's a nice number. So let's go with that instead as our main situation. And then we're gonna copy this part, but only the signals. Again. What is all that? Get rid of that. All right, and then we copy just the signals. And then line them up. Uh-oh. Go this way. There we go. Okay, how far am I supposed to go, by the way? From one to the next? 2 to 216. So then that's where the other rail should be. And then if I just want to copy this, I can line it up. Whew. All right, so now, how now, brown cow? We need to take away the useless chains. So now this is the straight section that we actually want. Ah, goodness. I apologize for all of this chaos. We're gonna get there eventually. I'm gonna delete those curved pieces at the end. And now it should be able to be 228 by 228. And then the X can be negative 102. No, negative 106. That looks like it's in the center. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're doing cooking with gas. All right, so delete all of this mess. This is the wrong distance now. So let's just get it so it lines up with the bottom of this one. So it needs to go a few to the right, maybe 66, 70, something like that. Ooh, close. Needs to go down 4 more. 74. Okay, so now this... No, what? The Y offset is not balanced. So when we have negative 22, that needs to be like negative 28. Or let's go 26. Okay, that's worse. So negative 20. Now it's off by 2 on each. That doesn't seem to make sense. Okay, so we changed the absolute and now we're good. Perfect. Okay. So that's giving us what we want on the bottom and the top, but not on the sides, because I feel like my brain is still not fully comprehending how this is supposed to work. Does it need to be half-sized? No, I think if I want it to work horizontally, we do need it to be in a different spot. I'm gonna pause the recording and figure this out. You guys are getting bored. Hey, we figured it out. Okay, so what you actually want is we want the grid, the box, to be centered on the intersection, and then we actually need the railway itself to be like offset from the center of the box by the size of the intersection, essentially. And then we get this perfect, it lines up regardless of how we rotate it. And if I were to put this one here, it would line up going that direction as well. Or this one up here would line up going that direction. So we can place them however we want, and they're always going to line up between two intersections. And it doesn't matter how it's rotated. So that's the easiest way to do it. And there's our straight connector actually done and dusted, which feels great. So we should be able to straight connect multiple junctions. So then the next one is just to figure out the junctions themselves. Now the 228 by 228 is the grid size that we need. So now all we need to do is set up our four-way as 228 by 228. And then we want that one. Well, I guess we can just copy this, right? 66 and negative 42. Is that right? Is that gonna work? Is that gonna help me at all? I'm not really sure. Seems like a no. And I want these to basically just be at the center of each box. So then all we got to do is just center this, right? So the grid position here is 114. Negative 114 by negative 114. Why is that not? I don't know. Negative 96, negative 90, negative 90, and negative 90. And then, haha, yes. And there's no point to even rotating those, but we could. All right, so there's those junctions. And then, we need to copy those numbers. 228 by 228, negative 90 by negative 90. 228 by 228, negative 90 by negative 90. And then the other numbers were 66 by negative 42. And now we should be able to plop one of these three-way blueprint or three-way junctions, however we want. So now I could be like, boom, 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 straight connector, boom, 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 boom. And then we could be like T-junction, boom, boom. Beautiful. Okay, so that is the style that I like. Feels so nice to build. Look at that glorious, glorious train track. Okay, and the last thing, well, there's still a lot more steps to this. I hope you guys are enjoying these episodes. We got to get the train stops figured out now. These are going to be here by default. We need to figure out power pole situation. I feel like I'll just add those in to each blueprint after we get the blueprint itself figured out. So let's get the stop here figured out first. So that goes in, and we'll just call this basic to stop. We'll just call it to station. Station 2. Station 2. 2 basic. 2 basic train stations. Okay. And now this is going to have, we'll remove those. 228 by 228 as well. And remember, they need to center on the intersection. So that's going to be like negative 100 and 100. No, negative 100. Somewhere around there is going to be the center. And 66 and 42 or whatever it was. What was it? According to the other ones, it's 66 and negative 42. And then negative 106 and 94. I don't think it's quite going to work for this. It's going to be further to the left, like 126 and negative 106. And then, well, did we do it? No, it's close though. It's very close. I think it needs to be 2 more. The X needs to be 2 more over. Further away, so negative 128. Aha! And you can see, yeah, it's creating a problem because it wants to make a straight rail where there shouldn't be one, and it's not making the curved rail where there needs to be one. So let me plop down one of these, and we'll pare it down to the absolute minimum here. And this needs to actually have that part. Did I just miss a signal? Just make sure we've got the whole thing. Yeah, there are some signals down there. Okay, so that's really the contents that we want. Let me get the rotation the same, and then this thing, select new contents, save. Okay, so now does that work with our junctions here? Well, no. Because why? Oh, it's just not lined up right? Yeah, I think now the X needs to be more negative. 136. Ooh, we're close. 138. Oh, that's too far. 134. Very nice. Okay, so now that should line up even on a T-junction. Perfect. And it just lines up with all the signals. It adds chain signals where there need to be chain signals. To the intersection. It almost feels magical. Like, it feels like this shouldn't work this well, but it does. Heck, I can even put one here on the end of a straight section because there's a left turn into the stations and then there's a right turn back out. So I didn't even think about that. I can have stations on the end of a straight section without even having an intersection on the end of it. That's super handy. Okay, I am actually, I'm really happy with how we've done this. That's really working nice. And then we can make larger blueprints for like a 4 station or a 6 station or a fluid station, right? Like those are easy things to expand on later, but just the basic backbone here, this is really nice. Okay, so then the last step is to get power pole connections and RoboPort connections. And do we need anything else? And I don't think so. I think power and robots is good enough for everywhere. So now we need to add into this design the proper power pole thing. Now, I'm not gonna design it for big poles. We're just gonna do regular medium poles for now. We might redo the design when we get to big poles, but for now, I'm just gonna use heckin' lot of medium power poles. So, we made some serious mistakes with this strategy last time, and I would like to not repeat those mistakes. So we kind of need to design it such that it can build its way out. I don't know if that makes any sense. But basically, we put a RoboPort in a spot such that it can always build to the next RoboPort. And they're 3x3, which is annoying. So this is where rotation does matter. So that way the rotation of the intersection is going to end up placing 4 RoboPorts, which we don't want. So instead, we could make it so it does place 4 RoboPorts, but then they connect. How about that? But we need to make sure it doesn't conflict with the stations. So if there were 2 stations here, we need to make sure the RoboPorts reach each other. They need to be able to reach, with their construction zone, the next RoboPort. And they need to connect to each other with logistics zones. This is getting finicky. Okay, I'm thinking maybe we should have done this part first. So the halfway point, that one wouldn't connect, right? If I rotate this around. Correct. Okay, so we need to be 1 tile closer. But then these can't construct each other. Or can they? If I rotate this around, is the tile just down and to the left of that constructible by that one? It is. Okay. So those are okay because these see each other and they will construct each other. As long as we're not on a straight section. If we're on a straight section, if I make a straight intersection, I'm going to have to put one in the middle, is all I'm thinking. Because there will be another one, you know, mirrored across this whole thing right there. And that one can't see that one. It's okay if there's a T-junction though. And so far I haven't designed anything. I haven't designed a straight intersection, but if I do, I need to remember to put a RoboPort in the middle of it. I don't know if any of this is making sense to you guys. It's only sort of making sense to me, but we'll get there. And then get the RoboPort built on that end. And let's see. Because we can't do that. We have to put it within the actual build range of the next one. And I think I'd like to just work it out so they don't intersect at all with the whatchamacallit. So basically it can go right here. Should be fine. And if I have another intersection on this end, I just want to see like how those two link up to each other. We're still pretty far from linking up, so I'll need a whole 2 more probably in those green zones, and we should be okay. So then we'll put that one there, we'll put this one here, and then that one will go, well, if we, you know, mirror this, then they'll line up with each other. A little bit of extra overlap, but I don't think I can make it work with less. Unless... this one could be, I think, a tile or 2 further out. It could be centered on that tile. And then this one... no, see, we're not quite at the halfway point. If we were at the halfway point, we might be able to do something clever, but we're not. We're a few tiles short of a happy meal, which is unfortunate. But could I stretch these out further? It's so hard to tell. We might be able to make... okay, is that worth saving 1 RoboPort per straightaway? All of this faffing about I'm considering doing right now? No, I don't think it is. Because basically what I'm getting at is these are a little closer than they need to be. Basically what I've figured out is we can space the space between them to be 36. And this space is only 26. So I could have another... these could each be out another 10 spaces. Or at least 5 spaces. So like here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, let's try it. And just make sure it works. But yeah, I mean, you can see right here, I can build this anywhere up here. So if I were to copy its distance from the intersection, that one right there, if I were to like delete it and move the mouse, yeah, it's hard, but like imagine, look at the little black square with your eyes and you can see that like that's the black square we're building it on. And that black square was very much in the green region of the other builder. Oh, but then there's no logistics in the middle. That's why I had linked it the other way. That's kind of funny. And it kind of doesn't matter. Because again, if we were to do a straight junction, I'm going to put one in the middle anyway. So it does mean if I'm personally walking, it's going to do weird things with me walking through the middle. So because of that, we're going to undo back to what we had before. Which is that distance of 56, 56. I just want to make sure I hadn't screwed something up. 27 to 20. Oh, wait, 29? Oh, 29 up that way. Yeah. Okay, and then 24 back that way. 29 that way. No, that's 28. Oh, no. Oh, okay, good. It measured on the wrong square. All right, 29. And then this should be 24. Okay, we're good. So that spacing, I'm just going to settle for that. And then, like we said, we can put this just in line with that signal. And then we can put the next one in line with, or one square before that signal. And now we just need power poles that hook up to each other that are radially symmetric. Oh no, power poles are gonna double up, aren't they? And there's no way to prevent it because they're one tile power poles. This is where big power poles would be really nice. I guess we're just going to end up wasting a lot of power poles on accident if we end up double placing these. But on the straight section... No, I can do this radially, right. The one half will have them on the bottom and the other half will have them on the top, and then if I rotate it, it still works. Never mind, we're good. We got this. Okay, so... I'm gonna go like there. We need these to connect somehow. I feel like that might end up looking pretty busy. Is there an easier way to do this? Like if I go here, do those connect? No, they don't quite connect. That's really a bummer. That's like just slightly too far. Yeah. I mean, I guess I can... I feel like this is still just the easiest way. And then maybe we just make these ones go out further. So it goes out to like there. And then the next one is here. But of course that one doesn't link to that one. So we do need, we can't just have 4 around the middle. The only way we can have 4 around the middle is if they're in these positions. Which is maybe fine. And then we'll stretch out radially, like that. Okay. And then we build on the inside of that RoboPort. Build out, build on the inside of that RoboPort, build out. Build on the inside of that RoboPort. And then that is what we need. And then the mirroring will probably not quite work, but then for the station here, we'll also need to handle that. So I need to do kind of 2 things at once here. One is the intersections need to have power and RoboPorts added. And then, yeah, I should have really just designed this whole thing before I made the blueprints, because we're just gonna have to remake the blueprints and we're gonna have to delete the sections that aren't relevant again to remake the parts that are different. Well, maybe, I might have a solution for that. But yeah, like I need a version that doesn't have a train stop here to make new blueprints from. So I need a section like this, and then we can copy the parts here minus the rails and signals. Take out the signals and the rails just to get the RoboPort part. And that should only fit one way, which is kind of a nice like guarantee that it's positioned correctly. And then I can do that again over here, but rotated. And now we can see what exactly we need to link them together, which is going to be a couple more power poles, max distance, and then 2 more. Maybe I even bring him a little closer so it doesn't look as weird. Because, you know, then we make some sort of weird angle like that. So let's move these back to here. And those like that. And then that should always connect. And the power poles that can be built by each RoboPort should always supply the next RoboPort with power, even including from this direction. Wait, no, are we sure of that? Can this RoboPort build to the left? This power pole here. And the answer is, ooh, I don't know, actually. It's on the edge of the green. I'm glad we're checking this. This is the kind of thing that screws you over so hard later, and this happened in our last Pi playthrough, and it was rough. Okay, so we need a infinity accumulator here. And then I need some pinobots. And then we need a provider chest, and then I need to put in some power poles. And if I ghost that, it does get built. Oh, they're so slow. And they use a lot of power. Okay, but that's good news. They can build on the edge of their radius. I also, while we're here, would love the answer to that question that I know we asked last time, but I already forgot the answer. Like, can it build, you know, like we know the edge of its radius is this kind of vertical line through the middle of that square. Can it build something with its center off? Or does the center of the building have to be on? Like, can it build this? And the answer is no. It can build it if we move it over here. Yep. What about if it's a 2x2 building? Where does that draw the line? Like splitters. What if I put a splitter? Oh, we don't have storage. What if I put a splitter here? Does that get built? No. So basically the center of the entity's ghost has to be touching the green. Is, I think, the final verdict on that. So anyway, this whole thing should be good to be built. I should double check this distance as well for the RoboPort building distance. And yeah, the power pole's well within. And then I should check the corner distance. Just, again, guarantee that everything works properly, including the power poles. Can this build all the power poles to build the next RoboPort? And the answer is yes. It can see all the power poles and the RoboPort in its green zone. Perfect. Okay, so we're not making the same mistakes we made last time. That feels good. That feels good. And then, yeah, I think at this point, what I'll do is I'll take each of my blueprints and I'll add in the relevant pieces of power and RoboPort, and then we'll remake the... So like here, I'll make the straight connector over here. Or no, we'll make a sideways one, so it's at the same angle. And then I'll just copy the pieces in here that are relevant. Should I only have the RoboPorts on the straight connectors? No, because then it won't fully build the intersection until I put other straight connectors. So I think I want the intersections to have full RoboPortage. And then the straight connector will only go to this final RoboPort. So why don't I copy... Well, it's a little tricky to get the alignment exactly right. But basically I want to stop here for a straight section. What if I just go straight down? It should be aligned. And if we look, we can see that that has one tile there in the corner between the pole and the thing, and that has one tile there. And the distance between that is 9, and the distance between these is 9. Okay, so there's our new blueprint for the straight connector blueprint. Select new contents. Damn it, it's horizontal instead of vertical. If I switch these two numbers, does everything just work? I'm just gonna assume it does. Because symmetry is a hell of a drug. Yes, it does work. Perfect. So yeah, I can put it there, or I can put it here, going that way, and it works either way. Oh, it just feels so good. Delicious. Okay, so that's great, and now we've got, okay, so we've got that done. Now I need the intersection. So the intersection, four-way junction, has this part connected. But I don't want those extra rails, so we're gonna copy this without the rails and just paste that part in the middle. This is so cool. Something about radial symmetry that's just really satisfying. So then these will be the four-way junctions when we plop them down. And then this will get the other ones built, and then that'll be ready to build off into other directions. And if we want to, we can also just plop stations on the end of an intersection. And I don't even have to do a straight section past that. That's the best part, right? And so if we have a 2x1 grid area, we could have a plus junction that then doesn't have a straight section, and we just have stations in here and they can go around the long way. So there's all sorts of options that we're giving ourselves, and I really like that. All right, so four-way junction, fix that, save it, and then double check that it's still, yeah, it's not aligned correctly, because now basically if the border was in the same spot, it would be aligned correctly, but we added an extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles. So that probably means I'm gonna need to change the offset by 6 tiles. Let's go 96, 96, and just see what happens. And we did the wrong direction, so let's try 84, negative 84. Still off by 2. 82, negative 82. Boom. Perfect. Rotational symmetry. I'm hitting the R key and you can't even tell. I mean, you can sort of tell because the rails do like little differences, but that's good. And then finally the T junction is the last thing. Oh, and the stations. So the three-way junction here. What I'll do is I'll copy. Again, let's just get rid of some of these extras. I will copy just the power poles and robo ports. And then we'll paste that in. Ooh. It still only fits one way, right? Yeah, this still only fits one way, so we know that it's correct there. But then obviously we'll delete the ones that are irrelevant, which are those. I could delete that power pole, but ooh, should I? I think I will. Because we could still later paste over this if we wanted to with a four-way junction, and then it would add that power pole. So I think that's fine. I'm gonna say that's fine. And then I'll go ahead and do three-way junction, new contents, select everything. That's gonna change the X, but not the Y, potentially? What did we say? Negative 82 was our new number? That's a little off still. That doesn't seem right. I mean, does that need to be in the middle? I'm like forgetting how this, okay, that's close. We're like 4 off with the Y number on the 3-way. So negative 102. That looks like it's in the center. There we go. So yeah, and what's so cool about this, what I think is really cool anyway, you guys might think I'm a loser, is that you could just place 2 3-way junctions on top of each other at any rotation, and now you have a 4-way junction, and that should perfectly match the 4-way junction. Oh, no, it doesn't. I guess you have to paste the 3-way junction each direction because there's a left turn that you're missing. Or you paste it 3 directions total, and then you get everything. And that should be the 4-way junction. Yeah, same thing. Okay, cool. So the last thing to do before this episode's done is configure the RoboPort and power poles for the station edition. And so the station edition, and that's an A addition, not edition, is going to connect power pole. And it's always going to be coming from this direction. I would never put, like if I was expanding my rail network from this hub out this way and I had a straight one out this way, I guess it's not going to matter because if I put a straight one out this way, it will build the RoboPorts all the way to there. So I actually guess it doesn't matter where I connect these from. I could connect from here or from here and it'll work. So that means I can just be kind of making these follow along the rails. And then we'll get to here. And then we'll put them along. How exactly do I want this? I think I do want the classic, like, power poles spaced out that way. And then I want a lamp. Probably in the front of that one. I have the combinators which are attached with a wire. I can change my request threshold at will. But 1,000 seems like a reasonable place to start. And the train stop name for all default is just station. It says the station names don't matter. Train limit 2, train limit 2. These are going to be spaced by 1 from the wagon by default. Again, I can change that. And then as far as the construction of all this goes, we should just be able to add a RoboPort like straight down here. And that should cover quite a few more stations being constructed and supplied in logistics radius. So now we take our blueprint for station, we modify it to have these things added. Copy all that, put it here, take out the... I don't need to take out anything, because it should just overlap. And then just plop it down. I guess we moved those. And that should all work. And then I make new contents for the station 2 basic. Save, make sure it still lines up with the other stuff, which it looks like it does. Aha, we have discovered an issue. So the Station 2 Basic does not have enough power poles to connect to only an intersection, and we want to make sure it does. So that means I want to copy this RoboPort and these connecting power poles, because the intersection stops at the power pole before. So I want to copy these bits as well as part of the Station Basic design, which all go here like that. So then that should always expand on top of an intersection over here. Or if there was already a straight section coming this way, then that will also connect up. So this should always just perfectly glom onto whichever direction we're coming from. So now if we were to attach that, yeah, it should just perfectly fit onto any side of any intersection. This is so beautiful. Well, I'm pretty happy with that. That is our rail network. We will design depots and other types of stations in the future. I'm sure as we need them, we can create kind of new vibes, but for now, we'll do basic providers and requesters this way. You know, and I can pretty easily just like copy this and, you know, add a couple more without even doing much work. But just as a generic, getting the rails and signals set up, this is a good start. Wow. That was like 3 straight hours in the editor. I hope you guys sort of enjoyed that. If you didn't, I apologize. But we'll be back to more kind of standardized building here soon. Apparently, I need to put these into my blueprint library. Season 3. And then I should be able to go out, and then we have our blueprints that we need. And here we go. So you can see these are... Oh, you know what I didn't do is radar. Should I do radar? Hadn't thought about radar. Oh, no, I hadn't thought about radar. No, we were so close to the end of the episode. What's the actual radar? And I'm thinking local radar here. Because it would be a lot of power. I mean, it wouldn't be that much power to add a bunch of regular radars. They're only 300 kilowatts. Which is becoming less and less and less the longer I go in the game. So yeah, never mind. These are fine. And this way we kind of explore as we expand. I think... Now here's the question. If I were to put that like back here, is it always going to get halfway? Is there a world where the 2 radars in the center of each don't connect? Because it kind of feels like there might be that world. Like if the chunk borders are just wrong, if that makes sense. It feels like there's a world where they can't see in between them. I don't know if that's actually true or not. 225 is the distance between them. They scan a total of 7 chunks, which means the rest of the chunk to the right, and then 3 full chunks past that, wherever you're at in the chunk. So if we put it here, this is the minimum. Well, it's based on the center of the tile. So this is like the minimum, if you're looking at the mini map here. Over here on this chunk border, this is the closest we could be without actually going to the next chunk. And then let's just see like how far can I go before we have a gap. gap appears here. So the closest they can be and still have a gap. So if they're closer than this, they're guaranteed to not have a gap, right? Because if they're any closer than this, they literally could not mathematically not have a gap, no matter what, I think, is what I'm measuring. So this distance is 222. If the distance is greater than 222, there is a world where there's a gap. And we just discovered the distance is, what, 225. So there could be a gap. Damn it. That's so annoying. That's so annoying. No, man, are you for real? That's sad. And the worst part is that will happen eventually with these blueprints because they're not chunk aligned. 228 is not divisible by 32. Well, is it? 32 times 7? It's kind of close. That would be 224 if I'm doing my math right. 30 times 7 is 210 plus 2 times 7 is 14. 224. If we had gone 224 by 224, then it would have been exactly 7 chunks wide. And my brain still is hurting because you could only get about 6 chunks out of the radars though, in terms of actual distance. So anyway, but because those are like not gonna divide out evenly, there might be a time where we plop these down and they don't actually do coverage properly. I mean, I can probably... Can we see it from map view? No, because you can't see radar coverage from map view. Dang. What's the easy solution for this? Without requiring 4 radars per intersection. Is it just putting 1 in the middle of a straight section? I think that's the solution, to be honest. So then there's 1 per intersection and 1 per straight section. And this isn't gonna work out symmetrically, which is gonna be slightly annoying to me. But having 1 placed will always prevent other ones from being placed. So we'll never have like 4 radars next to each other. But they will, depending on how I rotate the intersection, they will be in slightly different spots, which is a bit sad. But then I think what we'll do is just for the straight section, we will put 1 also in the middle. But again, it's like, depending on which way we rotate the straight section, it will be in a slightly different middle, but it should always overlap just fine with the other ones. Okay, we can do that really quick. I'm gonna go to a new spot on the map. God, look at the map view of our, just all of our chaos here. So this is pretty easy. Now we throw down a straight connector and we put a radar in the middle, which the exact middle is these 4 squares. So I'll put it, literally all 4 of these are equivalent. Part of me wants to do like 2 radars just because I could. Because then it's still rotationally symmetric, but that feels completely pointless. So instead I'll just be sad and put it kind of almost in the middle. And so then straight connector, select new contents, boom, save. 3-way junction. Now which way is the 3-way junction in the blueprint? It's facing down, so I need to continue that, otherwise I'll jack something up. All right, and then the radar. So these 4 tiles are the middle. I'll put it there, doesn't matter. Three-way junction, new contents. Save. Four-way junction. Place it. Radar. I put it in the bottom left of the 4 center tiles, which are these 4. Put it there. What I wouldn't give for a 2x2 radar. My kingdom for a 2x2 radar. Not even a different radar in any way. Just exactly the same functionality, but it's 2x2. I guess that would create problems because then what chunk would the building be in if it was over a chunk border? So that might actually be the reasoning why it's 3x3. And then the station doesn't need an extra radar, so that's good to go. Okay, so now I have radar factored in, and we should have radar coverage of our whole train network. Sweet. Okay, that wasn't as hard as I thought. Well, this has been a really long episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. With this, the beginnings of a real factory base. It only took us 85.5 hours to get here, and it's going to take a lot more hours to actually build this thing because the construction bots are slow. And it's just going to take a lot of time, but we will get there and we will have a train base. I'll probably establish it mostly up here to start with some connections to what we've already got going. Sweet. Well, as always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next episode.